Hello everyone, welcome to the series of science lessons. This is a continuation of the previous lecture. The second law of motion. The first law of motion indicates that when an unbalanced external force acts on an object, the velocity of an object changes. That means object gets acceleration. Now we will study how the acceleration of an object depends on the force applied. You can notice while playing table tennis, if the table tennis ball hits a player, the impact doesn't hurt the player. On the other hand, a fast moving cricket ball, when a fast moving cricket ball hits a spectator, hits a person sitting around the stadium, that impact may hurt him or her. So why this happens? When a table tennis ball is hit to a player, the impact is not much. The person doesn't get much affected by the hit. Whereas when a cricket ball is hit to a person, the impact will be more, because impact produced by the objects depend on their mass and velocity. In the first case, in the case of table tennis, the mass of ball is very less. Even if the velocity is little more, the impact is less. Whereas in the second case, the mass of cricket ball is heavier, and even the velocity will be relatively high. The impact in the second case is more compared to the first case. So what is this quantity where we signifies mass and velocity? That physical quantity is momentum. The momentum of an object is defined as the product of mass and velocity, and the momentum is denoted with the letter P. P is equals to mass times velocity. The unit of momentum is the unit of mass is kg. The standard unit of velocity is meter per second. So the unit of momentum is kg meter per second. Now let us consider an example. Imagine a car is standing, a car is at stationary, and car is unable to start because of dead battery. Imagine two persons are pushing behind the car in order to move this car, in order to gain some momentum for this car, to give a push start. If one or two person push the car, that is, they are applying unbalanced force, it hardly starts. But if one or two person are pushing continuously with some effort, the car will start to gain some momentum, the car will start to move. Once the car attains some speed, when we release the clutch in first or second gear, the car will start. Change of momentum of car not only determined by the magnitude of force, but also the time taken. One or two person has to push for some time with some effort. Force is necessary to change the momentum of an object for some duration. The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. Now let us see what this statement means mathematically. Mathematical formulation of second law of motion. Imagine an object of mass m is moving along a straight line with the initial velocity u. The object is uniformly accelerated to certain velocity v in time duration t. By applying a constant force, the initial and final momentum of the objects will be p1 and p2. Momentum is defined as mass times velocity. So in the first case p1 is equals to m times u, and in the second case p2 is equals to m times v. So change in momentum is equals to p2 minus p1. P2 is equals to m times final velocity, P1 is equals to m times initial velocity. M is constant here, m doesn't change, so take m outside. So change in momentum is directly proportional to mass times final velocity minus initial velocity over time. We can also call it as applied force. So force applied is directly proportional to m mass into difference in velocity over time. This is in proportionality form. We need to convert into equation. In order to convert a proportionality form to an equation form, we need to insert some constant. Say for instance, x is directly proportional to y. If x is equals to 1, y is equals to 5. As x increases, y also increases. Say the value of x is equals to 2, x is directly proportional to y, and the value of y is 10. This is in the proportionality form. We need to convert this into equation. So x is equals to k times y. Proportionality is replaced with some constant in the equation. The value of x directly affects the value of y. As x increases, y also increases. So when we divide these two, there will be one constant, right? So value of k will be equals to x divided by y. Value of k will be equals to x divided by y. In the first case, the value of x is 1 and the value of y is 5. In the second case, the value of x is 2 and the value of y is 10. 2 1 times, 2 5 times, 1 by 5. So this is a constant for this proportionality symbol, for this proportionality. Similarly, in this case, when we are converting from proportionality symbol to, when we are converting from proportionality form to equation form, we need to add a constant. So k times m mass into difference in velocity over time. Difference in velocity over time is acceleration. So F is equals to k times ma. In our previous example of x and y, the value of proportionality constant is 1 by 5. But in this case, the value of proportionality constant k is, now let us find out what is it. 1 unit of force, that is 1 Newton, is equals to the acceleration of 1 meter per second produced for 1 kg of mass. 1 meter per second acceleration is produced for 1 kg of mass. So the value of k should be equals to 1 divided by 1 kg per meter per second square. So the value of k is equals to 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So F is equals to ma and the unit is Newton. In other words, kg meter per second square. This is the Newton's second law of motion. We can state the first law of motion using the second law of motion. You know that the equation of second law of motion is F is equals to ma, which could be written as F is equals to difference of velocity over time. Multiply t on both sides of the equation. So t and t gets cancelled on right hand side. So on left hand side, ft. And multiply these two terms, distribute these two terms. Ft is equals to force times time is equals to mass into final velocity minus mass into initial velocity, When F is equals to 0, LHS becomes 0. That means 0 is equals to mv minus mu. Add mu on both sides of the equation. Mu is equals to mv. Since mass is equal, so cancel mass. Final velocity is equals to initial velocity. That means the object will continue moving with a uniform velocity throughout the time. If u is equals to 0, then v will also be equals to 0, right? That means object remains at rest. If v is equals to 0, u is equals to 0. Now let us see example 9.1. A constant force acts on an object of mass 5 kg. A constant force acts on an object of mass 5 kg. Duration for duration of 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, object will be at this point. The force which is applied increases the object velocity from 3 meters per second to 7 meters per second. Initially, the velocity of object is 3 meters per second. At this point, the velocity of object is 7 meters per second. Find out the magnitude of force applied. We need to find out how much force is applied in order to achieve this 7 meters per second velocity, final velocity. This is one part, and in the second part, now if the force was applied for a duration of 5 seconds, instead of applying force for 2 seconds, in the second case we will apply force for 5 seconds. What will be the final velocity in this case? Now let us solve the first part. We are given with the initial velocity 3 meters per second, final velocity 7 meters per second, time taken is 2 seconds in the first case, and the mass is 5 kilograms, and the mass of an object is 5 kilogram. So from Newton's second law of motion, F is equals to ma, F is equals to force is equals to mass times difference in initial velocity and final velocity over time. When we substitute these values to the given equation, we will get force is equals to 10 Newton, mass is 5 kilogram, final velocity is 7 meters per second, initial velocity is 3 meters per second over 2, time is 2 seconds. 7 minus 3 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10, unit of force is 10 Newton. This is first case. Now let us see the second case. Now if the force was applied for a duration of 5 seconds, what would be the final velocity? We know if we know how much force is being applied for how much duration. 10 Newton of force is applied on an object for 5 seconds. Now we need to calculate the final velocity. Initial velocity is 3 meters per second. Now let us plug these values in the given equation. We know that force is equals to 10 Newton, mass of an object is 5 kg, final velocity that we don't know, and initial velocity is 3 meters per second over time duration is 5. 5 ones. So 10 is equals to v minus 3. v is equals to 13 meters per second. So the final velocity achieved is 13 meters per second, which would require a greater force. Accelerating a 2 kg mass at 5 meters per second square, we are applying force in order to achieve this acceleration, 5 meters per second square. Or there is one more object of mass 4 kg, we are applying some force in order to achieve 2 meters per second square acceleration, in which case the force required is more. Now let us see. We know from Newton's second law of motion, force is equals to mass times acceleration. Now F1, the force required to achieve the acceleration of 5 meters per second for 2 kg of object. So m is equals to 2 kg, acceleration is equals to 5 meters per second square. So we need 10 Newton of force. In the second case, F2, mass is 4 kilograms. We need to achieve 2 meters per second square acceleration. So force is 8 Newton. F1 is equals to 10 Newton. F2 is equals to 8 Newton. So thus accelerating a 2 kg of mass at 5 meters per second needs a greater force. This needs a greater force. The first case needs a greater force. The content of this recording is borrowed from Karnataka Textbook Society Bangalore under Fair Usage Policy. This video is presented by Avari Technologies. Please do hit subscribe button to get more content. Thank you.